Hey everyone, and welcome to the show. Today is a special episode, and it's very special because we are on location. This is our first ever in-person podcast interview, and we are talking burgers, beach life, entrepreneurship, and what it takes to launch a food business from the ground up. I'm joined by Tony, the co-founder of STOKD Kitchen, a beachside food spot that's quickly become known for its smash burgers and Space Coast surfer aesthetic. Tony and his wife Alicia took an idea and turned it into a business that's building a loyal following, and today we're diving into the story behind it all, from marketing to branding to the realities of running a restaurant near the beach. Tony, welcome to the show. Tony, welcome to the show. Can you start by telling our audience a little bit about you and why you and your wife Alicia decided to start STOKD Kitchen?
Yeah, so I grew up as a restaurateur. My dad was a chef. My mom was a server. My grandma was a bartender. They all worked in the same restaurant whenever I was a kid.
Oh yeah, wow.
So I got kind of drug around to different restaurants. And, when I moved out to Park City, Utah, it was 2010. So right whenever the economy just took a big crap.
Yeah.
And I had just graduated college, and it was either go right into a marketing firm where I had 20 or 30 people that were all you know just as good as me trying to get the same job, and a lot of people weren't really hiring in the business world at that time, and so I did what I call a reverse retirement.
Okay.
I started to get into snowboarding and whitewater rafting,
Cool.
and when I moved to Utah, it kind of all came together where I got to use my marketing skills and my business finance skills to further my career, which normally wouldn't make a whole lot of money.
Mhm.
So I went from making, $10 or $20 an hour to being able to uh, market myself in a way where I got higher tips, I got more clients.
Mhm.
So I was taking private clients down the river. I was doing the Grand Canyon, I was doing
Cool.
all kinds of really big rivers.
Mhm.
And then during the winter, it carried over into I became a snowboard instructor.
Very cool.
And so this is right when, Facebook and Instagram are really starting to become a big part of marketing.
Right.
And I was on the forefront of that, marketing myself to people who were wanting to come out and learn how to snowboard.
Very cool.
And the ski resorts were not really doing a whole lot of marketing themselves.
Mhm.
And so I was able to become one of the top snowboard instructors at the Canyon Ski Resort within a couple years.
That's great.
And then Vail took it over, and I became one of their top instructors in their entire Vail corporate instructor.
Wow. Very cool.
And it was mainly because I was getting these privates, because what I would do is I would film a lot of what we were doing
Mhm.
in the class.
Right.
And then I would send them these videos, and they would be able to see them during the summer whenever it was no longer snowing and they wanted to look back on their vacation, and their kids would see it. And one thing that I kind of took from that was I would always say, when somebody would learn something new, I would say, "Man, do you smell that? Like that fresh air, that beautiful smell, man, do you see that?" And I would really get the senses going whenever
Mhm.
they accomplish something. So then whenever they would smell or see something like that in the future, they would think of, that accomplishment. And snowboarding in general, a lot of times I was getting these people, because I would wait a few months before I would send out these videos.
Oh, okay.
And then I would send out these videos, and it would be off season. So they would get these videos and they would start thinking about me, and they would start booking their trips for the next winter.
Good idea.
And it was something that I kind of passed on to other instructors. I passed it on to Vail Resorts and some of the other resorts that I was working for,
Mhm.
including the rafting companies as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I started, I had a GoPro One,
Mhm.
when I first moved out there, and was doing GoPro videos of my rafting trips. And then same thing, I would edit it all at the end of summer and I'd send them out to all the people.
Wow.
And so it really, I started out my marketing career doing that.
Yeah.
It's super simple, but, worked really well. And um, I ended up moving into, I got a lot of injuries snowboarding,
Yeah.
and I became a food and beverage director of a very large hotel out there, and
Cool.
was running a restaurant, a food truck, and this is all right before COVID hit. So I got this, new job, new restaurant job at a
In
hotel.
hospitality. Yeah. Yeah.
COVID hits and kind of shut us down a little bit, but I was able to pivot in a way using marketing, using some of my skills that I had learned as a restaurateur to be able to bring their restaurant back to a level that nobody had really seen around there.
Wow.
In fact, we were making more money post COVID than we were pre COVID
That's
because of
awesome.
some of the adjustments that I made. And it had a lot to do with I opened up some outdoor dining. I had to go orders locked in, because everybody was, doing to go orders. We were one of the first restaurants to really do the outdoor dining.
Mhm.
And then the owner decided he was going to sell the property, and he ended up selling it for a lot of money. And one of his last sort of words of wisdom to me was, stop working for millionaires and making millionaires more millions of dollars. That you need to start your own business. You're too good at this to be working for other people.
That's great advice.
And so then I met my wife on Hinge.com,
Okay.
and we went on a few dates, and I was madly in love with her from the very beginning. And I asked her to marry me less than a year later, and we got married. And her biggest wish was she wanted to move somewhere warm that had a beach, and that brought us here to the Space Coast.
Yeah, very cool.
And all at the same time, I decided to open up my own marketing business. This was like right as I was meeting her, I was opening this. So she got to see me struggle, and some of my best and worst times in my life, she was there for me, and she had a really good job, so I was able to do that. And when we moved here to Florida, the biggest change that I saw, and I would love to talk more about this, is um, out there, people already knew you needed to hire somebody to help you with marketing if you wanted to go to that next level. If you had people, high schoolers or whatever, doing your photos and videos and posting them for you, it's like everybody was doing that out there. But, to get a professional website and to have somebody that's posting, enough and the right stuff to get in the algorithm to boost your business, specifically running like Facebook ads and things like that. Because honestly, nobody knew how to run ads except for just push the boost button,
Yeah.
and so that was my specialty, was running Facebook ads.
Okay.
And when I moved here, nobody really knew what that was, or knew that, you needed to pay somebody a good amount of money to be able to do that.
It's interesting that you bring that up. I feel like I'm seeing it more and more start to show up, where I'm seeing businesses starting to run ads around here, at least on Meta. We're originally from New Jersey. Maybe this is similar to how it was in Utah. Like, we were kind of put into digital marketing a little bit sooner, I guess. You brought up some really great points there, just talking about how you started when Instagram and Facebook started. And actually, I think we're reverting back to it, which is kind of exciting. It was a platform where people shared those real personal experiences, and it wasn't so much, I need to do X, Y, and Z in order for my content to perform well. We're kind of getting back to that, where people are actually craving those videos again. You bring up the nostalgia piece, or like, you're experiencing, I don't know, doing a snowboarding trick. Thomas knows how great I am at snowboarding. You're doing a snowboarding skill, and like, you want to remember that experience like while you're there, and then you go back and you look at the video and you put yourself back in the shoes again. It's great that you have the experience too from the restaurant and the hospitality field, and then now bringing you to STOKD Kitchen, which is so cool. So we've been here on the Space Coast for a little while now, and previously, there was another food truck there. And since trying your food truck, we are huge fans, specifically of the Smash Burger. So I want to learn a little bit more about you, a little bit more about your menu, and then I also want to dive back into that marketing piece and how it kind of ties everything together. Definitely recommend trying the Smash Burger if people are listening. But what made you create the menu that you currently have? And there is clearly a lot of branding and marketing that goes into it. You have a really cool logo. I have your sticker on my water bottle. The brand is definitely very strong. So I'm wondering how you kind of came up with all of that.
Yeah, so it was really funny. My wife and I, we had been kind of knocking around the idea of buying a business around here. We had already had our little space guy for all of our businesses. We wanted to buy a motel. That was our first.
Okay.
Let's buy a motel. Let's change the logo. Let's change the branding and move it up. And So we started to make that. We call them STOKD. And we started to make that with all kinds of different branding. So first it started with the motel. We were like, oh, okay, that's a little out of our price range. Let's start with something a little smaller. So then we were like, let's start our own rental company. We'll rent chairs and umbrellas on the beach, and we'll do this and that.
Yeah.
We saw that there were some openings there. So we, same thing, started using Stokey for that. When we figured out that this was up for sale, my brain just started going off. Man, what if we could have modern American food, meaning like, we don't have any preservatives in any of our food except for a couple of our frozen items. It's pretty hard to get those without
Right.
having a couple preservatives in it. But
Mhm.
we use a lot of like our sugar for our lemonade shake-ups or all organic sugar.
Mhm.
All of our fruits and vegetables are locally sourced and sourced really well. And we decided on the modern American, meaning the good old burger, hot dog, pulled pork sandwiches, some good fried food, good fries, everything like that, like beach food. But we wanted to put a little bit of a twist on it, making it so it's a little bit more affordable. So smaller portions. That's what I saw a big opening around here was everybody has these gigantic portions.
Yeah.
And they have to charge, $20 for a burger.
For a burger and fries. Yep, so true.
Because their portions are so big.
Right.
So something that I, learned as a food and beverage director living in Park City, Utah was people were coming in there right after they get off the mountain. They want a beer and a small pizza or a beer and an appetizer. That's it. They're not looking for like a big meal.
Mhm.
And then they go out later on and they get a big meal. I was
Right.
thinking it's very similar to the beach. People
Yep.
don't want to take a gigantic meal down to the beach, get all full and I mean, it's hot as hell in here.
Yeah.
So
Very true.
in the 100-degree heat. So
Mhm.
I portioned all my stuff a little bit smaller. And at first I was actually a little worried that people around here were like, oh, this is tiny. People were like, this is the perfect size for me.
Mhm.
I don't feel full because you're not getting all of the oils and all the bad stuff that's in the food that usually makes you feel less full.
Mhm.
That's the thing about, a lot of the food that we eat is it
Yeah.
actually makes you feel less full.
Right.
And
So
so
you eat more of
without
it.
using all of those, you
Mhm.
don't have to eat as much because you get full lot of it. And just having things like my beach combos, you can get a fruit cup instead of fries. You can
Mhm.
get a veggie and hummus instead of fries. Just having healthy options for the families around here. So that was a big part of why we made the menu the way that we did.
Mhm.
But as far as like the advertising goes, we really wanted to advertise for families
Mhm.
because we noticed that, there's a covered park here,
Mhm.
there's lifeguards, everything's very family oriented, specifically in these few neighborhoods right here. But the restaurants aren't.
Yeah.
They're not made for like there are a few places like Friendlies and places like that that do have like good kids options, but they don't have like a healthy option for kids. And so that was our big push. And then the little Stokey guy,
Mhm.
we made that that used to be a little bit less playful
Okay.
and a little bit more realistic. So I
Okay.
made it a little bit more playful, more kid friendly,
Right.
where a kid would walk by and say, "Ooh, that's cool." I could give them a sticker and they really like it and want to put it on their stuff. And then another big part of this was this is such a big surf community, and I was such a big part of the snowboard community in Utah
Mhm.
that I really wanted to make a big push in the surf community
Mhm.
because a lot of the surfers around here, they're the same way. They don't want to eat a bunch of preservatives and fatty food. They're about to go out surf. But they all like a good burger and they all like a good pulled pork, things like that. And so I really kind of geared my menu towards surfers, families, and then the college and high school kids that are also eating differently now.
Mhm.
They
Very true.
are eating.
Definitely more conscious of what they're
Yes,
eating. Yeah.
exactly. And whenever, like, I think a big one was I have these organic fruit cups that I get from Costco that I serve now. I started putting those out, and I just had sorbet cups on my
Mhm.
menu. And then as soon as I put 100% fruit sorbet cups in real fruit cups, it's all about how you word things. Specifically on my menu, I noticed when I put out my first menu, I didn't have like 100% beef hot dogs. I had hot dogs. Have the things that really set me apart when I first started my menu. And as soon as I put that stuff on, people were ordering them a lot more and talking about it a lot more. Like, man, this, this burger or this sandwich is really good. I can tell you used good quality meat. And then a lot of it too is my dad was a French trained chef. And so he taught me a lot of these cooking techniques that normal restaurants aren't going to use because they're not hiring, French trained chefs. So with my smash burger, I smash it down, then I flip it over on a bed of onions so it actually steams the rest of the burger. And then it also sautés the onions all at the same time. It's actually prevents it from drying out and makes it really moist, but gives it a really good taste. And then the onions don't really taste like onions. So if you don't like onions, you don't really have to worry about that because the onions are sweet now. You get this sweet, you get a salty, and then I have a Stoke sauce that I actually stole from Utah, which is what they call their fry sauce. So it's ketchup, mayo, pickle juice, and a bunch of spices.
Oh, okay. That's what that is.
Yeah. And out in Utah, they use this as their fry sauce. So what they do in Utah is they don't make things they don't season things very good out there.
Okay.
For a good reason, because they have these large families that come out to eat. If they season things at a high level, half the family won't eat the food.
Right. That's a good
Because they
point.
have a picky eater in the family. So then they can't really go out to eat to those kind of places. So a lot of the restaurants will make their food very plain, but they have really good sauces. So you can get whatever sauce you want and dip in it, or you can pour it on whatever you're eating, and then that makes your food a little bit more tasty.
That's a
And
good point.
so they had a lot of really good sauces, and I was able to, really concoct like a sauce that would taste good on our burger. That wasn't like overpowering, so it doesn't take over the burger. You still taste the onions and everything. And yeah, that was perfected over years of honestly cooking for my wife and her telling me, wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
We should sell this one day, and so a lot of that stuff went on the menu because of her, honestly.
It's great that you were able to bring your previous experience to the business now. There was a little bit of time in between there, like you said, running a marketing business. So I do want to talk about that a little bit. It's one of those things where people say, oh, is an entrepreneur like born or are they made? And there's maybe a little bit of both. I think if you always want to start your own thing, you kind of know deep down you're going to. And based on from what I've heard about your experience, it seems like you always were very entrepreneurial. You definitely had a branding hat on when you first started in your career. But one thing I think people forget is if they're really great at marketing, they don't necessarily know all of the things that go into launching a business. They maybe are really great at the marketing side and they know they want to start something, but they might forget about all the other aspects of the business. So in your experience and from your background, how has marketing maybe helped you with launching a business? But then are there any realities of owning a restaurant that surprised you that you think our listeners should know before they maybe start one themselves?
Yeah. Well, my marketing business started out very slow, and one thing that a mentor told me was go pay somebody that's doing the thing that you're doing and doing it the way that you want to do it. It will pay itself off.
Yeah.
And so I started reaching out to mentors like Alex Hermosi and Michael Owens and a few other really big time marketers that back then they were actually accessible.
Okay.
Now it's so hard to get on their books.
Right.
But I was paying Alex a lot of money for an hour of his time once a month. But that 1 hour a month, literally I owe everything to it because it really helped me in the business aspect of it. It helped me. I knew how to market, but I honestly didn't know how to market for a marketing company.
Okay. Yeah.
Because that was such a hard thing to do because you're trying to prove to them that you can help their business, but you're marketing a marketing business. So it's like they're like, well, how do you know how to market a restaurant? And of course I had restaurant marketing background because that's what I did at the restaurant I was working at.
Right.
And then I had background in snowboarding and whitewater rafting, but like one of my first jobs was a salon.
Okay.
And he owned 4 of them. And so I had to learn really quickly a lot of stuff about hair. And this is right when I met my wife. So it was really funny. My wife, the first time she met me, I saw her hair and I was like, oh, you got a balayage. She was like, how do you know what that is? Like, were you a hairdresser or something? And I was like, no, I'm working with the salon and I
Right.
like know my thing. I know my stuff now.
Mhm.
I really helped this salon excel because they gave me a chance.
Mhm.
But after that, I needed help getting other people to give me a chance because I had
Right.
no proof that I was good at marketing besides marketing for myself.
Yeah.
And so that actually made my marketing skills much better because now I had to market a marketing company that had no exposure or no background, you know, in marketing other kinds of companies. So that was really tough. And then
It varies so much too, industry to industry, and like even marketing a service is a lot different than marketing a product, or so, and even marketing your own service and proving that you can market someone else's service. It's not the easiest to get the message
and
out.
I wasn't good at being the talking head.
Okay.
So I wasn't good at standing in front of a camera and just talking. I was good at having somebody interview me like this, where if somebody asked me questions, I sounded like a whiz in marketing. But
Mhm.
if I tried to do that myself, I just
Yeah.
would jumble the words like, oh man, I hated that. I'm not going to use that, you know. It was really tough. But back to the question of, you know, what I didn't foresee uh when I opened this Stoked Kitchen.
Mhm.
Even though I owned my own marketing company and I thought, you know, this is gonna be easy. I've been marketing for restaurants, you know, last like 10 years. This is gonna be easy. And I think the what I didn't see coming was the different kind of marketing that you have to do when it's your own food because or your own service or your own business is you have to be able to brag about yourself but not brag about
Mhm.
yourself, like
Yep.
kind of be humble about it. I think that that was the hardest part for me, was showing my story and my wife's story and the story about how I made my burger and things
Mhm.
like that through marketing that I had done before, which I really hadn't because
Mhm.
it was never mine.
Right.
And so I was always the guy behind the camera, the guy asking the questions, the one directing how that video was going to go.
Mhm.
And I could say that's the best burger that I've ever had and not be boosting myself and, you know, saying things because you can say your stuff is the best, but
Right.
who's going to believe you kind of thing, you know?
When you start a business, you kind of go back and forth about whether it should be founder-led marketing, where you put yourself in front of the camera, or if you want your business to just be the focal point and not know who owns it. Both work. It's just the angle that you kind of want to go about it. For founder-led marketing, especially when people want to get into it, if they haven't been in it before, and they're like, oh, well, I have to be more relatable and I have to talk on camera. And like, but for everybody, that's not something that they might enjoy doing. From a lot of the owners I've spoke with, they kind of forget that just because you've said something a lot, you think that maybe your audience has heard it a lot, but they actually haven't. Repeating the same message until people get it. And I, for me at least too, it's like, oh, I feel like I posted about that already today.
But your new followers didn't see the thing that you posted a week ago.
Right.
So you kind of have to keep repeating yourself,
Mhm.
specifically if it's a good message that you're trying to
Right.
get across. Like, you know, I post about my smash burger like once a week,
Mhm.
even though I know that 90% of my followers have already tried my smash burger.
Right.
It's the thing that, you know, is a big part of my business and brings a lot of people in.
Mhm.
And I think you hit it right on the head that you you start to feel like you're running out of content. You know, you're running out of things to say. And it's funny because I never had that with other businesses.
Mhm.
It's only my own. Like I could, if I could go to any company right now, stand in front of them, they could give me a 30-second spiel about their business and I could come up with 20 creatives right now. When it comes to my own stuff, it's a little bit harder to do that because I'm a lot harder on myself. It's like,
Mhm.
well, that, you know, that's not great, so I'm not going to use that, or, you know, that's not perfect. You know, I'm going to go a different direction on that. So I tend to have less content because of that roadblock that I've
Right.
hit. And I think that that's something that I've been working on lately, where I force myself. Like I made a rule starting in May, I'm gonna post something every single day. I don't care what it is.
Okay, that's a good rule.
Whether it be a video of the beach, what the temperature is that day. Sometimes I'll do a video of the parking lot, being like, parking lot's filling up quick, it's gonna get here.
Usually does.
So, but it is true to a certain extent here.
It
It's very prominent.
Yes, yes, I've learned that too. There's a lot more community events here than at least from where we're from. It is so important to keep showing up at those because people recognize you, you remember people from things, and like even just doing content creation.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of my collaborations have happened, where I've been, recording, or I've been reached out to because I posted a story at some place, and then now I have a collaboration with them. So there's a lot of word of mouth here, and there's a lot of like in-person communication, which is refreshing. People are still going online finding things, but also the community events here, which it's nice. I mean, we also have a lot of like surfing contests and like stuff like that for you to get involved in, which is pretty cool.
I think something that people pass up here too, and it's an opportunity that everybody could use, and I urge everybody around here to use it, is you don't need a influencer with 200,000 views anymore. Like somebody with 20 or 30 or 200,000 followers, you can have somebody with like 200 followers make a post and it can do just as well on your page if you collaborate with them. You don't need their followers to be able to have a good content. And in fact, Instagram loves that. Their algorithm is actually leaning, and so is TikTok. They're leaning towards the smaller creators and collaborating with each other and growing a community together. Like that's their big push right now. And that was something that I started noticing early on. So now, if I see somebody that's like taking pictures of my food or my drinks or something, I'm always like, hey, if you post that collab with me, tag me or whatever, I'd love to share it. And then I've always been really good at selling Google reviews, people actually getting some videos or photos because I came from that world of um, hospitality where people are trying to remember their trip that they took. So I'd always grab other people's phones and take pictures for them. They would have these really good pictures or videos on their phones when they left and went with them. And so I do the same thing on the truck every once in a while. Like somebody will be trying to take a picture of themselves with their drink or something. I'm like, hey, I can take that picture for you if you want. Hey, why don't we get in front of my logo right?
Bigger accounts aren't as relatable to them, so they're looking for people that are also in their community and friends of a friend that went somewhere. It's so much more valuable to get a real person's experience. People often forget about Google reviews and Google Business Profile, which is literally where people go when they're going to go somewhere. Oh, let's check the Google reviews on it. So remembering to lean into that, I think, is so important. It's really,
Some of the most simple posts have been the best, like have brought the most amount of people. I remember you shared a story whenever you came.
Yeah.
I've had a few other people that have shared stories that had much less followers than you or posted about us. And somebody specifically came up and was like, oh, I saw, this girl posted this morning about it. I had never even seen her post before, but your burger looked really good, so I came and got it.
See, yeah, that's what it's all about.
That's crazy. Like that direct, like, I before I used to pay influencers to come to my restaurant and I would give them free food, pay them, have like big influencer events. And now it's much easier to, especially people who are just starting out in that world. Cause let's be honest, like marketing is something that almost anybody can get into. If you have the right drive and you have the right interpersonal skills, almost anybody can get into it. And we've seen a big push in that. Like everybody's trying to start their own marketing company or, you know, work with businesses as an influencer, creator. Yeah. And honestly, that big push has really driven me to take a step back and let some of those creators do this because that was me before. And now as a business owner, like I'm working 12 hours a day sometimes. Like making a post is a big deal for me. It's like an hour out of my time that I could be cleaning my fryers, that I could be, resting. My wife's pregnant. A lot of things that I could be doing besides sitting on my phone making, content. But I choose to do it as every single day, whether it's 5 minutes or a half hour. I try to put a little bit of time into it, but sometimes I can't. And so those little micro influencers are really huge to lean on. You know what I mean? And I'm just putting it out because I do feel like it's doing better now.
Yeah.
before that was, I would never have recommended that for anybody to do because,
Yeah.
excuse me, that's what Instagram would punish you for. They'd put you in Instagram jail
Right.
doing those, like, those non-edited, no music in the background,
Right.
just
You had to add as many stickers, and
Yeah.
that would like help with boosting it.
exactly,
Yeah.
or tag 100 people in a video. Now they're kind of leaning away from that, and I
Mhm.
really like it. And I think with all the AI is getting close to perfect now.
Yeah.
And pretty soon you're not going to be able to tell what's what unless somebody does a video like that. Only way, because you won't be able to an edited, like a professionally edited video will look almost
Too edited.
98% like an AI
Mhm.
video. And so it's coming.
Yeah.
It's not far.
Yeah, I know. It seems like it's kind of here, but yeah, really interesting point, because I think also touching on AI in marketing and AI in like life, I think we're actually seeing just this huge shift this year. And something I brought up a few times so far is just that analog living mindset. It actually brings us back to, having a food truck, which is an in-person, real experience.
Yeah.
You're a part of the community. You're actually present, enjoying food at the beach, living in the real world, not the digital world. And I feel like we're seeing such a shift into that. That ties into your marketing perfectly, where you're creating content in real time when you can, sharing people's real experiences. Overall, we're seeing such a shift where people don't want the polished video anymore. They don't want the perfectly created carousel post that's like, could be AI generated. Even we're seeing it too, where people are doing their ads, and it's like, I've seen community ads going out too, where the ad is created on AI and people are like, please just try going back to Canva or like putting it together on like Microsoft Paint at this point, because nobody wants to see an AI ad anymore. So really interesting that you brought that up.
And it's funny because the people that were kind of behind are the ones that are like they're figuring out AI,
Right.
and it sucks because they just
actually go
figured it
back.
out, and
Yeah.
now they have to go back and
Right.
like, use Canva again.
Right.
And I feel bad for them because I was lucky enough to be at the forefront of AI. Like I got ChatGPT 1. Like
Okay.
as soon as it came out, and it was free.
Mhm.
And then the first paid one, I had that one too.
Okay.
And that's actually what built my entire marketing company, because
Wow.
I didn't have to have employees that were helping me with all of these different tasks.
Right.
I had ChatGPT to help me, and I took a bunch of prompting classes in the very beginning. I started going after these like Alex told me, pay somebody who knows better than you, is doing the thing that you want to be doing. Just give them a bunch of money, learn it, and then you'll be able to take that into your business. And that's what I did. I found somebody who was like a master prompter and learned from them. And so when it was early on, but when ChatGPT like didn't really work unless you had like a really good prompt,
Right.
like it would be this, everybody who was saying the same thing,
Right. Right.
unless you had a good prompt.
Yeah.
That's whenever I really was succeeding. And then once everybody kind of caught up to me, it was like, do I want to keep doing this where it's like every 30 days I have to learn this new thing,
Right.
like to get
The moving goalpost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a big reason why I kind of got out of, it wasn't for me. I'm not a type of person that can sit inside and sit on my phone or on the computer all day.
Yeah.
And I tried working from like the beach every once in a while, and it just wasn't working either. So having this STOKD Kitchen was a blessing in disguise. Like it really took me out of that world and got me into, now I can be creative in a different way. I can use my marketing skills that I have, but I'm not having to learn a new thing every 30 days
Yeah.
just to be able to keep up with the new market.
There's a lot of people listening to my show that are digital marketers, or they are staring at a screen all day. I think for so many people, just like the shift to analog living, we're seeing such a shift where people are like, I don't want to be behind a screen. I worked all day behind a screen. Last thing I want to do is sit on my phone or watch TV behind a screen after working. So it really takes you out of that, which must be very refreshing. Definitely a change of pace.
No, I recommend if you own your own marketing company and you're not happy with what you're doing, take the skills that you've learned and use that for another business. If you want to go back and start using, you have your business that you just marketed for and it did really well. Now you have something to show. Now you can say, well, because somebody could be like, well, how do I know it's going to work for my business? You could say, I did it for mine. This is how it. Because it's really hard to start off a marketing business and then say, well, I helped these guys, but they're not my business. They're even in
Right.
my area. They're not the same business. Or maybe they are the same business, but they're like, well, they don't have the same kind of employees that I do. There's always some sort of difference in the businesses that lean on and say, you know, but if you've done it for yourself, it's a lot easier to market to them. Like, I can do it for you too. But if that's your love and passion, I really do recommend taking courses
Mm-hmm.
on it doesn't have to be expensive courses either, and do your homework, figure out if it's something that is going to be around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But I think continued education and marketing, it's a must.
Yeah.
You cannot live in this world or
Thing.
succeed in this world in marketing without doing some sort of continued education. It's not possible anymore.
Right.
It used to be you could just go to college for marketing and then
Oh yeah.
lean on
Please.
that for the rest of your life.
Right.
It's
Right.
not like that anymore.
No, so much has changed, even from just, yeah, literally, I don't use anything I've learned in college.
Okay.
As we wrap up this episode, if there's someone that's has an idea that they've been sitting on, maybe they are in corporate America, maybe they are, running their own business where they're sitting behind a screen and they're like, okay, I want to do something different. What's one piece of advice that you would give them to help them take that first step and get started? What made you say, you know what, this food truck is what I'm going to do? Like,
What stops the majority of people is the fact that they don't have a family member or a friend or anybody that they know in their really close-knit community that has started a business that's like still successful.
okay.
A lot of people know business owners who had to close their business,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe they don't even have a family member or anybody that they know that owned their own business or was an entrepreneur. A lot of people may have taken over their parents' business or something like that, but once again, I mean, I do think that's an entrepreneurial,
Mm-hmm.
success, but it's not the same as starting your own business from
Right.
scratch. And so I would say, try to not think about just because my family or friends have never done it doesn't mean that you can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that is unreachable. Like, in fact, it's very reachable for almost everybody out there.
Right.
Getting your credit score up is a big one, because then you can go out and get loans for your business. If
Mm-hmm.
you have a good business proposal, you have a good idea, and you have decent credit, like, you can do a lot with that.
Okay.
And I think that's a lot of people's biggest fear is like, well, it's going to cost me $100,000 to start this business. To me, that was a lot of money to me because of the way I grew up. My
Mm-hmm.
family didn't have that kind of money.
Mm-hmm.
I knew one person down the road that made that kind of money, and it was like almost unreachable.
Mm-hmm.
So to even fathom starting a business and asking somebody for $100,000 was like out of the question for me.
Mm-hmm.
But what I learned over the years is that because I would meet these people that were no more educated or better than me at what they were doing. Like, I could do their business. I worked for them,
Mm-hmm.
and they just had the guts to go out and ask for the money
Yeah.
and take the risk.
Mhm.
And uh, a lot of those people just went out and did it. Whereas what's stopping a lot of entrepreneurs or future entrepreneurs is they don't think that it's possible to get $100,000 loan, and they think $100,000 is a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
But to an entrepreneur who's trying to start a business, $100,000 isn't that much money.
It goes quick. Yeah.
It goes really fast,
Mm-hmm.
and that's so you just need to start changing your mindset and thinking bigger,
Mm-hmm.
thinking, like if you want to start a business and you only want to put $10,000 on it into it, just remember that that business probably isn't going to make a ton of money in the
Mhm.
beginning, and you're going to struggle, and you're going to, need to start thinking about where the next money is coming from,
Yeah.
or you need to have something that makes a good amount of money so you can invest that next amount of money into it.
Mhm.
But that's really hard to try to live and do that at the same time, pay
Right.
all of your bills. So I think, and this is my experience, and maybe it's not everybody's, but I think taking that risk with a larger amount of money puts you in a much better place to start a business that allows you to actually live off,
Right.
and allows you to make a couple mistakes in the beginning and still continue with your business.
Right.
It allows you to put some money into your logo. Like,
Mm-hmm.
people will, hire their cousin or their niece or something to make a logo.
Right.
And it's fine in the beginning, but like your logo, what you're putting out there in the world is what's going to keep bringing people back.
Yeah.
Make people recognize who you are. And I think that, to kind of sum this up is it really comes down to fear and not, and like maybe you didn't grow up with that kind of money but your mindset needs to be that doesn't matter.
Right.
Like just because I don't know somebody in my close knit crowd that has done this before does not mean I cannot do it. And in fact, it's actually a lot easier than everybody thinks to do something like this. Because the majority of people won't do it.
That's a good point.
So it actually, like, whenever I first bought this thing, I had a lot of people come and say, "Oh man, I would do this or I would do that," or "How much did you buy this thing for?" And I would tell them, it was 6 figures to buy this thing, and they would say, "Oh, wow, that's a lot of money. I wouldn't have done that." I had a lot of people sort of giving their 2 cents on things
that you didn't ask for.
Yeah. And I wanted to be like, well, if you would have done this, then why didn't you buy it? You know what I mean? Then like it was up for sale,
Right.
but me and maybe 2 other people are the only people trying to get it. And now it's already done and everything's good. Now people are like, oh man, I want this.
Right.
Can I buy this? Or,
Yeah.
how do I do this? You know what I mean? And honestly, it's already been done and it's in front of them, so now it's easy to them.
It looks easy because
But when it was a big ask or a big jump to starting your own truck, having your own logo, starting your own marketing, like getting all the permits, like all of the city, county, everything like that, like it was a big ask. And a lot of people see that as huge mountains that they can't climb. But honestly, it's once you get started, it starts to you hit a roadblock, you get past that roadblock, the next roadblock's a little bit easier. The next roadblock after that's even easier. And then you start getting to the point where I actually love roadblocks because I've gotten so good at them. I'm looking for things that are going to stop me from doing something. I'm actually welcoming like a fail.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm doing things to fail, to see if I'm going to fail because I know that I have the skills now to get past that.
Yeah.
To move through that roadblock and successfully. And so once you do it a couple times and you take that fear out of it and you start hitting those roadblocks and you get past the first one, second one, third one, it gets so much easier. And then you start getting to the point where you could teach everybody else how to get past those roadblocks.
Yeah.
And now people are asking me, well, how did you get the permits? How did you do this? How did you do that? And to me, it seems easy now. At first it wasn't.
It was not, yeah.
Now it seems easy. And that's my biggest advice is, it seems really hard and untouchable until you start doing it. And then you're asking yourself why you didn't do this 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's some really great advice. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And yeah, thank you so much for being on my show. I really appreciate your time today. If you're local and haven't checked out STOKD Kitchen yet, definitely stop by and enjoy some beach time. And thank you, Tony. It was great speaking with you. Thank you.